All right. So if you remember within the previous lecture, I told you about different types of opinions the auditor will be required to give. The
Yeah.
auditor is required to give in the exam.
Oh,
And the basic things that you need to remember for the
guys, I have a
question
question
in
for you.
exam is again the opinions, nothing more, nothing less. How the names of the paragraphs change, what are the wordings that we have to use in each of the opinion that we are giving. And the most differentiated wording was in disclaimer of opinion, and disclaimer of opinion
Yeah, they said
type of
we were
opinion
engaged.
that you will see very less within exams. The examiner never asks regarding disclaimer of opinion. So do not be worried about that, even though we don't have any questions within the kit.
Do I
Okay.
have a question
Yes.
on that on
Your
what you just said
question?
right now?
Yes.
Um, if I don't know, maybe I don't know if you replied because I couldn't send your message. If what's it called? Um, like the subsequent event,
Hmm.
if it's like if it requires disclosure and
I
they
told
don't,
you. I
does it
told
affect
you. I have
you
replied to
reply?
it.
I could
Yes,
not
I have
reply. Yeah,
replied to
okay,
it.
no, I listened to you.
So basically, your
Okay, I
question
listened to
was, sir,
that.
what if a subsequent event is material and it is not disclosed? I have replied very
Yeah.
simply to you. Obviously, that is just one disclosure. It is not affecting all of the financial statements. It is just one disclosure. Always remember that any type of disclosure is always material by nature. You don't need to know materiality of a disclosure, and you are not able to find out materiality of a disclosure. So the question is it material or not material? A disclosure is always material by default. Just remember this, okay?
Disclosure is always material by default. Cool.
Yes. Let's move towards now the
So,
questions.
okay.
Let's move towards the questions now, because a lot of the questions that you have in your mind right now will be answered when we are doing the questions. So let's move towards the
Okay.
questions. Let's move towards the questions. And if you
I
remember,
did a question yesterday.
okay, leave it for now. Leave it for now.
Okay,
Leave.
okay, okay. So
Okay,
continue.
so basically, if you remember, I told you about
Mm-hmm.
different types of opinions that the auditor is required to give within his practical life. And the same, we have, by the way, every type of
Qualified,
opinion that an auditor has to give, we have
advanced,
studied
and
that.
disclaimer.
So your practical life is directly linked with double A when we talk about opinions. There is nothing we have missed in case of double A, in case of opinions overall. So basic two types of opinions that you have to need to have in your mind was a qualified opinion and then an adverse of opinion. And if you are not able to
And
identify
disclaimer.
any kind of evidences in more than two areas, then a disclaimer of opinion.
Okay.
So that is it. So today we
Mm-hmm.
are going to move towards a question, and again there is a specific way to solve an audit report question. Basically,
Oh, okay.
the
Mm-hmm.
examiner is going to ask you to provide an opinion, like what the opinion should be, the auditor should give. And you're not going to directly write down the opinion because you need to get the marks.
Oh.
And this question will be worth at least 5 marks. Remember that. Five or
Oh, okay.
minimum, this question will be worth 4 marks, but not more than five. The examiner rarely asks this question for more than 5 marks. But whether it is for four, whether it is for five, whether it is for 6, 10, 12, any type of marks, this is the way you will answer this question. And this is the first type of question, by the way, where you're not required to make two columns and then solve this question. No, you have to solve it in a paragraph form. So you will read the story. What is the first thing written here? You will read the story and you will identify an issue, like with some kind of issue that is going on within the story itself. You will have to explain that story within your own words, like describing the issue in your own words, and you will have to do this in a paragraph format. Now, generally, a paragraph is of 4, 5, 6 different sentences. Don't make it that much detailed. Just write down one
Oh.
or two lines for it. That's it. This is your first paragraph. You are just
Um,
describing the issue in your own words. Yes. Now ask your question.
like if you go to the marking scheme, right?
Hmm.
And then you see their answer for like a 4 mark, a 5 mark question.
Hmm.
It's so detailed. So like how do they mark these type of
No, no,
questions?
no, no, no. No.
Like
Let
how
me.
do they get the points? Because
No,
like
no.
I don't
Remember.
know. Sometimes I'm like, I'm writing too much, I'm writing too low.
Okay, listen, very important thing that you need to remember for the exam is this, that your answers will never be the same as the answers or the marking scheme that has been given within your book, within your kit. Remember that. The marking scheme that I have taught you overall in every single question, like for audit risk, I have taught you how to write down every single risk. Same is
Yeah,
the case with
I'm talking
substantive
about
procedure.
like the
Just
four
follow me.
mark, like the A part and the C
Yes.
part.
So basically, you're talking about the fact how different the examiner has written the whole answer and what I wrote, it was very different. I
No,
wrote very
no,
much
no,
less.
not that,
Yes.
not that.
Yes.
No, that's not my question. Like, you know, like what we did in class too, it's like usually like the B part of the question, like the audit
Mm.
raised the stuff. So I'm talking about the A part, which is usually knowledge based. Like they'll ask you,
Yes.
describe something, or they ask you what
Mm.
is materiality, what is performance materiality, those
Mm.
type of questions, and they say
Mm.
4 marks.
Mm.
It's like I don't know if my points are enough. Or because
No,
like
they will
when I
always be
do it
enough.
and I check, it's just I don't know.
Okay, listen. If you check with the book overall, if you check with the book, sorry, the kit, the markings there will be 10 times more than the marks that are required within the exam. So, for example, there is a 4 mark question and a theoretical question
Yeah.
which you need to write about.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take an example of audit risk. You have to explain different types of audit risk, that is the control risk, inherent risk, detection risk, non-detection risk.
Oh
You
yeah,
have to explain all
the
of that. So let's
the
say you
three
are
thing. Yep.
explaining that and you see
Mm-hmm.
that the examiner has written a very detailed answer and you are not able to reach all those points. Don't worry about that. Within the exam, you only need to write down 4 points to get 4 marks. That is
Four
four,
points. Okay, I'm going
four
to trust
points
you,
to
and I'm
get
just
the
gonna
four
do
marks.
that.
That's it. Okay.
Okay,
The
I'll trust
examiner,
you and do that.
the
Yeah.
answer that the examiner has written, that is known as an ideal answer. The examiner knows that the student don't have enough time to get or to write down the ideal answer. The student don't have enough time for that. The students cannot just write down an ideal answer because it is going to take too much time just for 4 marks. So the examiner knows
Okay.
that. Don't worry about that part. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's come forwards now. So this is the first paragraph that you always need to do. You will have to explain in your own words, like what is the issue, right? Step number two. Step number two is you will have to calculate materiality. So while reading the scenario, you will
Calculate.
identify,
Okay.
listen very carefully and don't speak right now. Don't cut
Okay.
me.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay, listen. Step number two is calculating the materiality itself. To calculate materiality, you need to remember the RAP model. Like, what are the lower limits according to the RAP model? So basically, for revenue,
Zero
it is
point five. Zero
0.5%.
point
For
five.
asset, it is
One
1%.
percent.
For profit, it is 5%. You remember that.
Five
Great.
percent. Profit before
The
tax. Yeah.
question is, a story will be given to you, and from this story,
Mm-hmm.
you will identify the issue. In the first paragraph, you will explain it. Like, what is the issue? Actually, you will explain it in your own words. Obviously, this issue will be linked in some sort of way with an amount, and that amount will also be given to you within that same paragraph. Now, your job within this second paragraph will be to calculate whether this amount is it material or not material. And to calculate materiality, either revenue, either profit, or either the total assets, any one or all three can be given to you, based upon which you can calculate the materiality, and you will have to also let the examiner know, is it material or not material. That's it. So if it is more than the limits that we studied, it is automatically material. If it is less than the limits that we studied, it is not material. Got it?
Yeah.
The next step is to, I have missed this point out, by the way. I have missed this point out. So you will have to write this on your own. 2.5, paragraph number 2.5. Pervasiveness. You will have to
Huh?
also explain whether this issue is it pervasive or not pervasive. Is this issue pervasive or not pervasive? So a
Oh, okay.
pervasive means
It
if
doesn't
that
affect
issue
it
is
doesn't affect.
affecting more than two places, it is pervasive. If it is
Mm-hmm.
affecting less than two
Yeah.
places or two places at the same time, it is not pervasive.
It's just
You will
not
have to
pervasive. Okay.
explain it.
Wait, let me take a picture of this. Okay, pervasive.
Yes,
Wait. Okay.
2.5 paragraph is
Just
explaining the pervasiveness.
just give me 1 second. Let me write to the notes.
Sure, write it down.
Um, which topic was this? Is this reporting?
Yes, this is reporting.
Uh, okay. Pervasive.
Now, before moving towards the third and fourth paragraph, we are going to move towards the exam question so that it becomes easier for you to understand. So, the question that we are going to attempt right now is specific corporation. Always
Also,
remember that, obviously we have to calculate materiality all of the times for reporting questions. So for materiality,
material
always
again.
remember, because the introduction paragraph is the first paragraph, here you will be given the revenues, the total profit of the company, or the total assets. So if you look at the last line, draft financial statements show revenue of 45.2 million and profit before tax of 4.1 million. So based upon this, using the RAP model, we can calculate if the issue is material or not material. Directly remember, the first paragraph of a question is where you will always be able to find out the figures to be used to calculate materiality. Got it?
Yeah.
Now let's move down towards the question which we have to solve. Part D, for 5 marks. Discuss the issue and describe the impact on the auditor's report, if any, should this issue remain unresolved. So basically, this question is only linked with this paragraph, and that's it. Nothing more is linked here. Only this paragraph is linked with this portion. Anytime you see this type of question, you will have to follow this pattern to answer this question. So let's come back towards this question, and let me open up my answer sheet so we can explain it and solve the question. So basically in the question it says, during the audit of Pacific Corporation's provisions for the legal claims. So basically an auditor was auditing the provisions that are recorded by this P Corporation, Pacific company, by this company, against legal claims. So what are legal claims? Some customers might have done some kind of legal claims against the company, or they are expected to receive some payments. Obviously, as a company, you have to record a provision because the amount is not yet confirmed. So you record a provision against. We understand this basic concept. The audit team gathered audit evidence showing that provision should amount to 0.8 billion. So all the
0.8, okay.
audit that we have done, listen carefully, all the
That's what I'm saying.
audit that we have done, we know that the company should record a provision amounting to 0.8 million. Let's move forward. The
Okay.
finance director has suggested that no adjustment is made in the 2015 financial statements, as he believes 0.5 million is a reasonable estimate, and that the difference of 0.3 million is
It's not
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 material. So what
material.
is happening basically now, because first step is to describe the issue in your onward. So what is happening? As an auditor, we believe that the company should record a provision of 0.8 million, whereas the company has only recorded a provision of 0.5 million. So the provision is basically right now understated by 0.3 million. Only 0.5 million is recorded by the company. This is the issue, right? This is the issue. Am I correct?
Okay.
Am I right or
Yeah,
wrong?
yeah, yeah.
This is the issue,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you're correct. It's understated
Instead
by
of
0.3, yeah.
thinking about something else, instead of imagining how difficult this question is, leave it here and write down the first point. That is describing the issue in your own words. So the name of the question is, what is the name of the question?
Peach. I think it's Peach.
It's Pacific.
Pacific.
Pacific
Yeah.
Corporation. This is the name of the question. I'm going to bold it out so it looks a bit pretty. Let's move forward. And we are doing right now part D.
C.
And
D,
I'm going
yeah.
to start my answer. So I'm never going to give headings of the paragraph. That is not what the examiner wants. In my mind, I know the first paragraph is where I describe the issue. So let's describe the issue. The audit team has gathered. I'm just explaining. Remember, I will never copy paste it within the exam. I will never copy paste
I
it.
realized something.
Yes.
When I was practicing on the practice platform, does it allow me copy paste?
It does not. Yes.
I
You're
was
right.
literally trying and trying and trying. I was kept on trying to paste, it wouldn't let me
Within
copy
the
paste.
exam, right now, you're not allowed to copy paste anything from the questions towards the answers. You are allowed to do that within professional exams, but here you are not allowed to do it. Okay.
'Cause it
So
saves
I'll
time from
explain
typing.
it in my own words.
Yeah.
Okay, the audit team has gathered. So I have read the question. I know what is happening. Instead of writing down what is written in the question, I'll explain it in my own words. So the examiner knows I'm being a bit more professional. I put in the effort. So the examiner is basically impressed by my skills. The audit team has
The audit
gathered
team has
evidence
got a
which shows that
mhm.
the
The
management of the
provision.
company should
Yeah.
record a provision
Provision.
of 0.8 million, whereas the director has only recorded provision
Provision.
of
0.5.
0.5 million, which
Mm-hmm.
means that the
It's
provision is
and
understated by 0.3 million. So basically, now we know what the issue is. The examiner knows that 0.5 million and 0.8 million is not the issue. Basically, the management should record an extra provision of 0.3 million, which they are not recording right now. So this amount is the issue which we are talking about. We need to find out whether this amount, which is not recorded by the management, is this material or not. We are not going to calculate materiality based upon 0.8 million. It is irrelevant. 0.5 million for the next
wait, you
marks, it
broke up.
is
I didn't hear.
irrelevant. Yes, come again. Come again. Can you hear me, Omi?
Now I can hear you, but I didn't hear your last sentence.
Okay. What I was saying, can you hear me right now? Can you hear me, Omi? Because I'm unable to hear you.
I can see you.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
All right. So coming back towards the question, because I have described this issue right now, I was saying within my last sentence that this 0.8 million is not relevant to any kind of issue. This 0.5 million is not relevant to any kind of issue. The fact is that management has recorded 0.5 million of provision. That is not an issue. The remaining amount which has not been recorded, that is the issue. And we will modify our opinion based upon this amount now, not 0.8 million, not 0.5 million. We need to check, is this amount material and pervasive or not? That's it. Understand up till this point, or any questions?
Yes, I understand. So the
Great.
next point,
Now,
the
what was the
0.3
next point? What was the next point?
to
The
see if
next
it's
point
material.
was we have to calculate and explain materiality. We don't just need to see whether it is material or not. This whole paragraph is going to be about, we will have to perform the calculation and we will have to explain that is it material or not. So I'm going to explain right now. While I write, you will also know how to explain this. Okay. So moving back towards the question, I only need to check whether there is something else. No, there is nothing else. All the amounts that I need are with me, but there are certain amounts which are right now, right here. So based upon only
Oh.
right now, where is provision recorded? That is my question.
Provision is recorded in your SOFP and SOPL. But let's
Okay.
just say SOFP. It's mostly
Okay.
SOFP. Let's just say like
Yes, the main impact is upon SOPL and it is recorded as an
no,
expense, right? And a
as a
liability
liability.
also. Yes, it is also recorded as a
But then you know
liability.
what? But can I say something?
Hmm.
The thing about materiality is it matters to check, but it does not really matter. Let me explain. Because as long as it's material against either revenue or what do you call assets or profit before tax, it's going to be material. So I
Yes,
don't think
yes,
it
yes.
matters that much.
Yes, it does not matter that much. You are correct about that. But as a student, we also have to make sure that we are professional in our answers. So in
Sure.
this fact, I just have one question from you. Basically, to calculate materiality, we have not been given the total assets, so that is out of question. Now we are only given the revenue of the company and the profit before tax of the company.
Yeah,
Based
you're gonna
upon
use
which
profit
should I
before
calculate the
tax.
materiality?
PBT.
Profit before tax. You are 100%
Yeah.
correct. But as a student, I'll try
Okay.
to be safe within my answers and I will calculate materiality on both. So just to make sure that I'm safe, there are no extra marks that you would be getting for this. You would actually lose some time trying to write down something extra. But as a student, you should calculate the
Wait.
materiality based
Yeah, I
upon
have a
both.
question, please, before you
Yes.
continue.
Yes.
So basically, I build this like I don't know attitude or something, but like every time I do a question,
Hmm.
if it's 5 points, I give 6 points. If it's
Good.
6 marks, I give 7 points. I don't know
That
if
is
it's just
good.
bad or something,
That is good.
but I always do that. Now I'm used to it.
Yes, that is good. That is good.
Okay, because I
Very
don't
good
I thought I
approach.
would get
All
penalized.
right,
Okay.
let's move towards the calculation of materiality. So by this time, obviously you will have your Excel sheet open to properly calculate everything. So let's move forward and write down. Obviously, let's write down
So
how. So first of all, I will explain how this is going to happen.
okay.
So first, let's calculate the materiality. Apologies. First, we have to calculate materiality. Let's calculate the materiality. So how am I going to do that? First, I'll calculate materiality based upon PBT. What is the PBT? It is 4.1 million. What is the
Profit,
amount of
yeah.
this issue? 0.3 million. So 0.3
Yeah,
divided
so
by
0.3 or 4
4.1
million.
multiplied by 100. What is the answer?
Yeah, okay, let me stop. Okay, wait. 0.3 divided by 4.1 times 100. 7.3%. That's
7.3%. And for
material.
profitability, the limit was
It's
5%. So it is
5%.
material upon profit. Okay. Let's
Yeah.
calculate again it upon the revenue of the company. So 0.3
What was the
divided by
revenue?
what was the revenue? Revenue was 45.2.
Oh,
45.2 multiplied by 100. What is the
okay.
percentage?
0 times 100. 0.6.
0.6. So for
It's
revenue,
material.
just the revenue again, the limit was 0.5%.
0.5,
So
yeah, 0.5.
let's explain this in detail. Obviously, we have done the calculation. You will have done the calculation within Excel, within your answer. So let's explain it right now. The amount of provision not recorded by the management, not recorded by the management of 0.3 million is material to is material against the profit before
The way
tax
it spells that is so funny.
as it listen as it represents
Mm-hmm.
7.3%
Okay.
of PBT.
Yep. And
And while no not and while the lower limit while the limit of
um,
materiality for PBT is 5%, and for revenue the amount represents 0.6%, while the materiality for revenue is 5%. Hence, the unrecorded provision is material against revenue and profit before tax both. So let me correct my spelling mistakes and then let's read it what I have written. Let's read again what I have written. So in detail, I have explained that the amount of provision recorded by the management is 0.3 million. I did it wrong. I wrote 0.33 million. Is the amount of unrecorded provision by the management of 0.3 million is material against profit before tax as it represents 7.3% of PBT, while the limit of materiality for PBT is 5%. And for the revenue, the amount represents 0.6%, which the material, while the materiality, why?
wait, what's the meaning of the
While the
PBT?
materiality for revenue is 5%, hence
Revenue.
the unrecorded provision is material against revenue and profit before tax.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a
Now,
question. If it was 5%, what would you do?
it is material, obviously.
If
It is
no,
material.
no, if wait, the amount of recorded by is material. Let's say it was if it represents 5% of PBT, is it material?
It is material, yes.
Oh, okay.
Exactly upon mark is again material.
Okay.
Okay. Can I move forward to the next paragraph now?
Yeah.
Now, the next paragraph is about pervasiveness. My question from you, if this 0.3 million, if this is recorded, how would it be recorded? Debit,
Debit,
expense,
expense, credit
0.3 million in
provisions,
P&L, and credit liability, 0.3
provisions.
million as P&L. So basically, because this is not recording, this is only affecting two places. So I know that it is not pervasive at all. Understood?
Yeah.
By the way, you might have a question in your mind right now, sir. If
Wait.
this
Oh wait.
expense is not recorded, obviously, is it not affecting PBT at the same time?
Wait. No. Wait.
Yes.
Actually, that's not my question.
Okay,
My
okay.
question
What is your
is,
question?
if like you are checking if it affects the financial statement, are you checking them independently separate? Because like let's say this provision, it affects SOPL and SOFP. So like if you are checking if it's pervasive, do you check like it affects two areas of SOPL and then that's it, just that, or it doesn't matter which state, which financial statement affects, as long as
Yes.
it's two different
It
stuff?
does not matter.
Which one
It
is
does
it?
not matter. No.
So like this would consider this as affecting two areas.
This has only affected the liability portion and the expense portion. As a
Okay.
general rule, you can also keep in your mind if there is only one error, it is not material. Oh, sorry, it is not pervasive.
Okay.
Because again,
One
there is a
error is
double
not
entry, obviously. Okay.
Yeah.
So moving back towards our answer sheet, I'll again have to explain this. Although, no, I'll have to use and create my own explanation again as a student within the exam. So let's say how a student would write it. Student would explain that this amount, as it is not recorded, it would only affect the expense within the statement of profit and loss and would affect the liabilities within statement of financial position. So majority of the students make this very dumb mistake that they also
Wait,
write down.
wait,
So
wait, wait,
as
one
it
second, one
is,
second.
okay,
No, it's not good. Will affect the expenditure and will affect the liability. Okay, yep, okay.
okay,
Let's
majority
go.
of the students make this dumb mistake
Mm-hmm.
down and also write
Uh-huh.
down that now because this mistake is only affecting two areas, it is not pervasive.
Yeah, it's not.
You don't write that down. This is not
So what
professional.
do you want?
This is a
Generalized.
general rule that I have given to you. This is a general rule that I have given to you that if it is not affecting two areas, you can't write this rule down with an exam. Okay.
Okay, cool,
Because
cool,
this
okay.
rule is unprofessional and just to be used for the exam. That's it. Just to be used in your mind to develop your answer. That's it.
Okay.
Normally, what you would write down is as as this issue is not affecting other areas of financial statements, hence this issue is not pervasive. That's it. Understood?
Okay.
And let's suppose
Okay.
if
Yeah.
this issue became pervasive, what would you write down then? Also, slash, if you're writing
Okay.
everything down right now, also write this down.
Wait,
If
I'm
in
taking I'm
case,
going to I'll take a screenshot when you're done.
okay, okay. So basically, I'm going to
This
write
issue
it
is
down
not
in red here.
affecting other areas,
As this issue is not affecting other areas in the financial
in the
statements, and
financial
this is not
statement.
pervasive. So let's suppose if this was pervasive.
So
Let,
what? Okay.
let me explain it
Okay.
first of all. Let me change the color and then I will write it down.
When you're
If
done, I'll say something. Yeah.
this was pervasive, what would I write down? Simply, I would write
I
down
said I've
as this issue is affecting many areas in financial statements, hence it is pervasive. So this is what I would write down if this was pervasive. Now ask your question.
um what I was gonna say is
Hmm.
give me an example where it's pervasive because I'm trying to say something. Give me an example, just one example of head where it may be pervasive.
No, because we will do the questions where they are pervasive as well.
No, we'll do it today.
Yeah, obviously, we are just going to do one question. That's what you think? Nah.
Oh, better.
Okay,
Okay.
let's move forward. Now, the next part is where you explain. We are done with the three paragraphs, by the way. So we have gotten the 3 marks, easy 3 marks. So the next part, what is the next part? You will have to give an opinion. Like, are we going to give a qualified opinion? Are we going to give an adverse opinion? Or are we going to give a disclaimer of opinion? So for the opinion, always remember, keep this schedule, keep this graph within your mind. Always keep this graph within your mind. So the first question you should ask is this issue related with an auditor not being able to get sufficient and appropriate audit evidence? No. Is this issue related with some kind of a misstatement within financial statements? Yes. So here you go. This is the side we are going to move towards. Is this issue material? Obviously, it is material, but it is material and pervasive? No, it is not material and not pervasive. This issue is material and
Oh
not
my
pervasive.
god.
So my opinion is going to be a qualified opinion. So obviously, as a student, I will also need to explain it. So I'm going to
Wait,
come
go back,
toward,
go back, please go back.
yes.
I'm just taking a screenshot just to see what you did. Okay. Okay, let's continue.
Okay. Always remember, if the issue is material but not pervasive, there is always a qualified opinion in both cases. In both cases. So my answer needs to be explained
My
well.
friend.
So obviously, this portion or this fourth paragraph is dependent upon these two paragraphs. Was it material or not? And was it pervasive or not? So I'm going to use these two paragraphs as a base to determine my opinion. I will also explain it. As the above issue of 0.3 million, 0.3 million unrecorded provision is material but not pervasive. Hence, the
Oh.
auditor will give a qualified audit opinion. Got it? We are done with this part.
Yeah. Wait, Go.
What are you asking?
No, I was just checking something. You can
Okay, so we
continue.
are done with this paragraph, by the way. Now we have to come towards the next paragraphs. And the next paragraph is a bit tricky because there are theoretical things that you need to remember as well. All of what we did up till now was all technical. You did it by reading the question itself. You developed the answer on your own. But the next paragraph is a bit tricky because now you will have to use your mind, unlock the area in your mind where you kept all the knowledge, how the name of the paragraphs change, and what are the wordings used in the audit report, specific things that I asked you to
Oh,
learn.
okay.
So, in case of qualified opinion,
Oh, I know what to say. You say
what
is
is the last
material
thing here?
except
Read this. What is written here? What
how
is
the
the last
report,
paragraph going to be about?
how the auditor reports wording and paragraph will change.
Yes. So basically, first let's talk about paragraph. The auditor's opinion paragraph name will change to qualified opinion, and the basis of opinion paragraph name will change to basis for qualified opinion. That are the first two changes. The next change within the qualified opinion paragraph, the auditor will state that except for the provision issue, the rest of the financial statements give a true and fair view. These are the only changes in the audit report when we are talking about a qualified opinion. Yes. So let's go now and explain it. Let's go now and explain it. So my explanation would be as the auditor is giving a qualified opinion, hence the name of the auditor's opinion paragraph will change to qualified opinion, and the name of basis of opinion paragraph will change to basis for qualified opinion. And the auditor in the qualified opinion paragraph
The auditor's opinion paragraph, and then basis for
will
qualified opinion.
state
Wait,
that
yeah, which is basis for qualified opinion, and then
except for the above issue, the rest of the financial
the final
statements give a true and fair. And you are
okay.
done with your answer.
Okay, though I was not expecting all of this, but interesting. I was expecting, I don't know, but I was not expecting all of this. Can you go down a bit? Okay, that's the okay. I'll just take a screenshot. It's okay. Yeah, let's continue.
Okay. So any questions that you want to ask or anything that you did not understand within this question?
No.
Great. Let's move towards the next question. Let's come
Yeah,
towards
let's go.
by the way, most of the students find the report question very difficult to solve, but I think,
Why?
and as a student, I also thought this, there are there are 4 sections within your syllabus that are free scores. CCG, ethics.
No, that's
Yes,
nothing.
CCG is the
No.
easiest thing that you can have within the exam. CCG, ethics, substantive procedures, and audit report. These are free marks. Believe me or not, these are free.
Okay. Yeah. So if we say like internal stuff.
No, internal control is very difficult. I understand
Oh my
that.
God, it's
It
so
requires a lot of
hard.
practice. It requires a lot of knowledge. It
I'll
requires
do
you to
four
be
extra
active,
questions.
have an imaginating mind. For audit risk, the same is the scenario. It requires to be.
Audit risk is kind of easy.
It is easy. Yes, it is
No,
easy.
the reason why audit risk is easy is because we did it like really early, so I had like enough time to do lots of questions. So it's
Okay, that
like
might also be the
it's
reason.
kind of like second nature. But then internal controls, I did questions, but not as much as the rest.
Well, I understand that internal controls are the most difficult portion within FA. I do know.
Oh, you did not comment on my work.
I did comment on their work and I told you they were good. I responded to your question and I said that they are good. There are no
I feel
issues
like
on that.
I feel like no. I just feel like no, I want constructive criticism. That's why.
Listen, Omi, there is constructive criticism is given on something where this teacher finds a mistake. Obviously, if I'm not finding any kind of mistake and you are writing correctly, if I try to constructively criticize your work, believe me or not, it is going to create a hassle for you because you're really close to your exam. So instead of commenting upon something that you are doing absolutely correct and changing your approach, why don't you continue to do it? Because if I comment anything upon it, obviously you will think that I need to change my approach, and there is not any more time to learn a new approach, right? You are going to waste a lot of time. So if you're writing something correctly, I'm never going to comment upon it. I'll simply say it is correctly written, follow this approach.
Okay.
All right. Let's come towards this question now. The name of the question is Perfecto Corporation. Perfect Corporation. Okay, obviously, always as I've told you, the introduction section of the question, the introduction paragraph will have the amounts that you need to use to calculate the materiality. So here we are given total assets and the profit before tax of the company. So the name of the question is, what is the name? Perfect Corporation. Let me write it down. Perfect. Perfect Corporation. This is the name of the question. And which part are we going to attempt? Let's see that. The part we are going to attempt is going to be part D again. No, part D, yes. Part D. This is a very tricky question because this question is related to disclosure. So let's read it out. Let's read the question. Discuss the issue and describe the impact on the auditor's report of Perfect Corporation of both adequate and inadequate disclosures of the contingent liability.
Wait, let me see. Okay.
So basically, as a student, you will read this question and you need to have one thing in your mind. There is some kind of issue that is being discussed here. What is going to be the auditor's report going to be like if the issue is correctly recorded within the financial statements, and what is the audit report going to be like if it is incorrectly recorded? So we'll now have to develop two answers, not one. Okay.
Okay.
So let's read the question. The final audit is now nearing completion. The audit team is satisfied that the legal claims received to date have been appropriately reflected in the financial statements. Okay. However, Perfect Corporation's lawyers have advised you that it is possible that a significant additional legal claim may be made by customers in the future in respect of the contamination. The audit engagement partner has confirmed that this is a contingent liability that requires disclosure. So a contingent liability is one where we disclose that it
Yep,
will
I
become a
know.
liability in the future, do not record it. The finance director has agreed to disclose some detail of the potential claims in the financial statements, but the audit team is yet to confirm the adequacy of this disclosure. So it is an open-ended scenario, and the examiner has told you, what if these disclosures are correct? How will your audit report be like then? And what if these disclosures are
Wait,
incorrect? Both. In both cases, what is the
wait.
audit report going to be like?
No, what I don't get is,
Hmm.
so like it's not yet confirmed. Like but the audit team is yet to confirm the adequacy of the disclosure. Oh,
Yes.
okay. The thing is, like they don't know yet if it's correct. So now we have to decide if it's correct or incorrect, what
No,
impact
no,
will
no, no,
have
no,
on
no,
our
no,
like
no, no, no,
report.
no, no. This is not what the examiner is telling. This is not what the examiner is telling.
So what is it? I don't get it.
Read the question now. Read the question.
Discuss the issue and describe the impact on the auditor's report of what's it called?
Perfect
Perfect core
corporation.
of both adequate and inadequate disclosure of the contingent liability. So please explain, because that's what I read. That's what I still understand.
Okay, basically, the examiner is asking you, what if the disclosures are correctly recorded? What will your auditor's report be like then? Like what are going to be the changes that will have to make in your auditor's report? And what if they are incorrectly recorded? What is going to be your opinion and the changes in audit report then? So here you will have to explain what is the auditor's report going to be like in both of these cases. If the disclosures are correctly disclosed or
Yeah,
if they
that's
are
what I
not
meant.
correctly disclosed.
So what I'm saying is right now you are not like the audit team doesn't know if it's correct yet. So now we are considering both cases and see
Yes,
what
we are
impact each of
considering
them
both
will
the
have.
cases. Yes. So
Okay.
if this is inadequate disclosure, first let's discuss the inadequate part. Let's just
Okay.
discuss the inadequate part. You will first explain the issue. Yes, in your own words.
The issue is the audit team has confirmed that. Should I say the answer or are you
Yes, say the
will I
answer
say
and
that?
you are saying it correctly. Now you will assume that
Okay.
the disclosures are not correct. Now describe the issue.
Okay. 1 second. The issue is that we have 1 second. Okay, the issue is that there is a contingent liability that
Hmm.
requires disclosure
Hmm.
by the company, but has not been made. But it
No,
has
no,
not
no, no, no,
been
no.
made.
It has been made, but the disclosure is not adequate enough in
Oh, okay, it
accordance
has
with the
been
accounting
made,
standards.
but it's
That's it.
not adequate in accordance with the accounting standards.
Yes. So you have described the issue. Now, what is the second paragraph? You will have to calculate
No.
or give the
Okay.
materiality. But for a
Okay.
disclosure, you cannot calculate materiality. So the materiality line is going to be just about one line. That's it. The materiality paragraph will only be about one line.
Yeah, I want to see what's gonna be for disclosure.
How will you explain materiality line?
Um, if the disclosure is not complete, then this is material by nature.
Yes, great. That's it. Because and you can also further explain this is material by nature because it is related to contingent liability. That's it.
Wait, if it's wait, let me add that. If it's not complete, it is material. Okay.
Okay. Now let's come towards the pervasiveness part. How will you explain that?
Uh, I don't think it's pervasive, to be honest.
Obviously, it is not
As it
pervasive. This is what I
as it
told you.
affects only a disclosure note,
Huh?
I do not think it's pervasive.
Okay. And
I
how are
don't
you
know.
going to explain that?
It's not pervasive. Okay.
No, 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 no. This is not what you write within the exam. You will have to explain it. Should I
Yeah, go
explain
back
it
to
for
your work.
you?
Yeah, explain it, please.
Okay, I'm explaining it. As this disclosure does not, as this, no, 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 no. As this inadequate disclosure does not impact any other area within the financial statements, hence it is material, but it is not pervasive.
Well, does not impact
Any
any
other
other.
area within the financial statements, hence it is not pervasive.
Okay.
Great. Now let's give an opinion.
True. Um. Okay. Um. Due to the fact that the inadequate disclosure is
Hmm.
material and not pervasive,
But
this will
not
cause
pervasive.
the audit,
Don't say
but
and not.
not per.
Write down but not pervasive. Pervasive.
Okay.
Hmm.
This will cause the audit opinion to be what's it called qualified.
Qualified opinion. Great. Let's
So
come
what's
towards,
the next
will
line?
there be any other changes within the audit report?
Yes. The audit. Okay. The thing. What's it called? The the auditor's
By the way,
opinion
Omi,
paragraph.
listen. You don't need to write this one down. You can just copy and paste this one.
What do you
Because
mean?
this line is almost the same for every single place you give an auditor's opinion, you give a qualified opinion. As the auditor is giving a qualified opinion, hence the name of the auditor's opinion paragraph will change to qualified opinion, and the name of the basis of opinion paragraph will change to basis for qualified opinion, and the auditor in the qualified opinion paragraph will state that except the above issue, the rest of the financial statements give a true and fair view. So you can always copy and paste this when you are writing down the final paragraph about qualified opinion. You can always copy and paste this.
Okay.
Like copy this in your mind and paste it within the exam.
No problem.
And I will be sharing these notes with you. So it is going to become very easy. So when you will be doing the answer of this question, first you will give a heading of inadequate disclosures. Then you will write down all the paragraphs that you will be doing for the inadequate disclosure. But here I'm going to solve the answer for the adequate part.
We can just like inadequate disclosure and just put that and I'll just remember. Just don't just like on top of it.
Okay. In
Inadequate disclosure. Just
inadequate disclosure solved
inadequate.
in class. And obviously, I'm going to bold this out as well. So headings look a bit more unique. Let's come towards adequate disclosure point. Now, for the adequate part, if the disclosures are correctly given, Omi, if the disclosures are correctly given, would it change any kind of opinion? No, because my audit opinion will not be modified at all. But still, somehow I can still use this all paragraphs and try to develop my own answer. Because using, remember, as a student, you might see a question or two within the exam for which you will have to develop your own answer based upon your own knowledge. And you will have to filter out a cluster of things within your mind, and then you will have to develop your own answer. Like, okay, I have so much information in my mind. How do I write it down? So the first step is always to explain the issue in your own words. So here I'll explain, instead of saying that the disclosure is inadequate, I will explain that the disclosure is properly given. The auditor, the company had to record a contingent liability disclosure, which the auditor has checked and have also developed that the disclosure is according to the requirements of the accounting standards. Hence, the disclosure is adequate. Great. This is just me trying to explain the issue in my own words. But the case is, why would I need to tell whether it is material or not? I don't need to tell that because there is no change in the audit opinion. You can hear me, right? Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Why would I need to calculate whether it is pervasive or not? Why do I need to explain that? I don't need to know that. The second thing is, what is going to be my opinion? These two paragraphs, materiality paragraph and pervasiveness paragraph, are no more required. But I can tell what is going to be my opinion. So I can just say, because the issue is adequate, there would be no change made to my opinion, and the auditor will give an unmodified opinion. I can write
Wait,
this.
wait, wait. Wait, 1 second, wait. So wait, can I get something right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Everything is correct. So in the adequate disclosure, everything is done correct. The company has completed everything.
Hmm.
So it means our opinion will be unmodified. So now what are you saying?
Obviously, if the
It would
financial
so
statements are then
so
correct, why would we modify the opinion?
so no, what I'm saying is then so it's like there's no materiality stuff that you calculate then in that scenario, do you?
Yes, you can't. Why would you need to explain that?
Okay, wait,
Materiality
let me
and
write something down.
pervasiveness is calculated and explained for something because of which the opinion is going to change.
Wait, only for an opinion is shared. So if it's like an unmodified opinion, it doesn't matter.
Hmm. So I'll
Do
directly
questions
explain my
come on
opinion.
audit report?
Come again?
Do questions come on like audit like the actual report one, like the mortgage stuff like that?
No, no, not so much, not so much. So you can ignore that for now. Just
Unmodified
ignore it for now.
opinion.
Ignore it for now.
Oh. Please continue. Thank you.
Okay, let's move towards our opinion. Obviously, I just need to write down a line or two that the opinion will not be modified. As the above disclosure, as the above disclosure is adequate, hence the auditor will give an unmodified audit opinion. So that's it. That is just a line explaining my opinion. But the fact is,
Okay.
let's come towards the last point. How the auditor's word report wordings and paragraph will change. So in this case, are the names of the paragraphs going to change? No. When we are giving an
Nope.
unmodified audit opinion, the paragraphs names stay the same. Auditor's opinion, basis for opinion. That's it. There is no change to that. But Omi, are we forgetting about something very, very, very important? Yes, we are
What?
forgetting about something very important. Because if I come above right towards the audit report. And when we talked about a modified audit report, I told you that there are 3 paragraphs which you might be required to add within your answer. The first one was the Murgha paragraph, which is relating to a going concern uncertainty, which has been properly disclosed by the management. So this paragraph is not linked with our answer right now because this issue is not linked with going concern uncertainty. No. So we are going to ignore this paragraph. Let's come towards the second and third paragraph. The third paragraph's name was other matter paragraph. This one. This paragraph was normally added for situations which the auditor needs, which auditor thinks that are very important for the users, but
Yeah.
they are not linked to the financial statements or the disclosure or
Yeah.
anything like that. So
And
is this issue
emphasis of
related to
matter.
the financial statements? Yes. So the
Yeah.
other matter cannot be used in this case because this paragraph is used for situations which is not linked to the financial statements. Understood? Let's come towards the second paragraph, the EOM paragraph. What was this used for?
I didn't hear what you said. The internet you cut off.
The other matter paragraph?
Yeah, you were explaining something, but I couldn't hear
Okay,
you.
I was explaining that other matter paragraph are included for situations which the auditor thinks that are really important and the user should know this, but that issue should not be related, recorded, or in any way related to the financial statements, right? Then we
Yeah.
add an other matter paragraph. So is this issue, is the disclosure issue linked with the financial statements? Obviously, yes. Disclosure notes, they are financial statements. So this is linked. So another matter paragraph cannot be added here out of question. Out of question, this cannot be added here. Like we can ignore this paragraph as well. But let's come towards EOM, emphasis of matter paragraph.
Oh,
What
emphasis
was
of
this
matter.
for, Omi?
It's
Can
like
you
what
explain
the
what was this
client.
for?
Oh, okay. It's like a disclosure that is made by the client, which and it's adequately made, it's correctly made,
Huh?
which the auditor in his own judgment thinks is of significant importance
Yes.
to and then refer the users to it, like to refer to it.
Yes, 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 yes. But the condition was it must be
It must
related
be
to the financial
adequately.
statements and it must be correctly recorded or
Wait,
disclosed.
wait. But this was only on disclosure though.
No. If
Yeah.
there is any
I know.
amount,
Well,
okay, listen. If there is any amount, I told you that every single thing within the financial statements has a disclosure note attached to it. So even if we are
uh-huh.
talking about an amount, if it is properly disclosed and recorded, there might be an EOM paragraph that has to be added within the auditor's report. Okay.
Wait, what are you trying to
For
say?
this contingent liability disclosure, don't you think as an auditor that the users must know about it, that there is a contingent liability which the company might need to pay in the future because there is no liability actually recorded within the trade payables. And as a user of the financial statements, you will only pick up the financial statements and look at the liability balances. And as a user, you will not actually go towards the disclosure notes and read them. You will ignore all the theoretical areas of the financial statements. You will just check the numbers and you will make your decisions based upon that. So don't you think that the auditor should emphasize this issue that the company might be required to pay this contingent liability in the future as well? Yes.
Yes.
The auditor
Well, like auditing,
needs
the
to
thing
be.
about auditing is, right, can I say something? It's like I feel like it's subjective.
Yes, this is subjective, but as a student, nothing is subjective for you, Omi. Either, listen, an audit, within the practical life, it is subjective. There are a lot of yes
Yeah.
or no's, buts and whys, like this and this. You will have to explain everything. But as a student, the double A exam and the triple A exam both are extremist exam. Either it will be a yes, either it will be a no. That's it. No in between. So in this scenario, is it a yes or is it a no? Even as
Here
a
it's
normal
a
human
yes.
being, you know that it is a yes.
True.
Okay. Within the double A exam, you don't need to keep in your mind that there is subjectivity anymore.
Okay.
Okay. Let's move towards our answer. So now I am writing down this paragraph based upon my own understanding, using my own words. Understood? So you can write
Yeah.
it down in your own words again, but make sure you write it down in such a way that it is a bit more professional, it looks beautiful, and the examiner understands what you are trying to explain. Do not make dumb mistakes in situations where you know the answer. Okay,
What do
let's
you mean?
explain it in easy words to the examiner. As this issue is significant for the users and it is appropriately disclosed within the financial statements, and the users must know about this liability, Hence, the auditor will add an emphasis of matter paragraph within his audit report. And as a student, I will also tell the examiner like where
Wait,
this paragraph would be added.
no.
So where would this paragraph
As
be
this
added?
issue is significant to the you. Wait 1 second. These are not, and hence the auditor will add within the audit report. Wait, don't say anything. Emphasis of matter is after moral paragraph. Materiality, whatever.
But that paragraph is something Murga. You're basically talking about Murga paragraph. We are not
Yes,
adding that
but it's
paragraph
but
within
it's
our audit
before
report.
like key audit matter paragraph.
Okay, what if I say after basis of opinion paragraph?
Fair enough.
Yes, that is also right. So you can write down anything. You can write down anything. So
Yeah.
whatever you think is correct. So I will, as a student, I would write down would be added after basis of opinion paragraph. And in this paragraph, the auditor will emphasize upon the importance of this disclosure to the users and also recommending the users to read that disclosure. Would there be any other change within my within my audit report?
Oh
No,
my God, you're
that's
acting
it.
so much. So now, won't you say it's going to be a modified audit report?
Yes, I am also going to say that. Hence,
Right?
I will
You're
write
acting
down,
so much.
hence, the auditor. Basically, as a student, even if you don't write it down, the examiner is not going to deduct your marks. But why not? If you have something in your mind and you can only explain it in just half a sentence, write it down. Hence, the auditor will give a modified audit report with unmodified audit opinion. So just to keep myself on the safer side, this is the last line that I've also added. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any questions in this part?
No, so like,
Hmm.
for like the other one, the disclosure, Morgan, what's it called again? Material unsanity leading to going concern one.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, never mind.
By the way, there is a question which I will give you as a homework, so don't worry about that.
Now, I
Relating
was gonna say
just
something, but then it's like the disclosure note would tell you that they are unsure if it's a going concern, so it doesn't matter.
okay, let's come towards this question, Sagittarian Corporation. Basically, I want to go above all the questions. I'm going to explain them very shortly. The examiner is saying, discuss the issue and describe the impact on the auditor's report, if any, should this issue remain unresolved. So let me read the question. During the audit of Canopus Corporation restructuring provision, the audit team discovered that $270,000 of cost included did not meet the criteria for inclusion as per IS 37 provision contingent liabilities and contingent asset. The finance director has suggested that no adjustment is made in the financial statements as the provision is a matter of judgment and the provision has been deemed reasonable by the board. So basically what is happening is that this company has recorded a provision of $270,000 which the auditor thinks should never have been recorded. So now the case is opposite in this case. So it is recorded. So basically now the provisions are overstated in this case. Again, as an auditor, you will do the first paragraph describing the issue, this same issue, that the company has recorded this $270,000 provision, whereas the auditor thinks that it should not be recorded. So you will have to explain that in some detail, not the way that I'm explaining it right now. In step number 2, you will have to calculate materiality. Here you can calculate materiality by dividing 270,000. What is the profit? What is the revenue? Here it would be given in the first paragraph. Revenue is of 0.8 million. Oh, what is happening here? Draft, hai? Oh, revenue is of 0.8 million. And the country and the draft financial statements show a total equity and liabilities of this person. So this is, by the way, Omi, I have a very important question from you. Please bring your attention here. In this
Okay.
question, I have been given total equity and total liabilities.
Okay. So okay. Oh, I try to say like asset equals to capital plus liability. So you can just look at it using 11.6. So you can just compare the what's it called? The 1% to this. Am I correct? Yeah, total asset equals to equity plus liability.
So this is basically total assets here. So
Yeah, that's what I'm
basically,
saying.
this amount is of total assets. So examiner is basically confusing you in this case.
I no, he's not confusing me.
Okay, great, great. If it is not confusing you, great. So basically, now you will calculate materiality based upon revenue and the total assets as well. Again, you will state all this type of explanations that I have given in the first question that we did, which I will also share with you. That based upon revenue, is it material or not material? Based upon total assets, is it material or not material? For revenue, it is 0.5% and above, and for total assets, it is 1% and above. Okay, great. Let's move forward. For then you will move towards pervasiveness. This issue is recorded and it is only affecting two areas. A liability is recorded and an expense is recorded. So only two areas have been affected. They should not have been recorded. So this is not pervasive anymore. Again, the same line that you will use in your answer will be this line, this line. As this issue is not affecting any other areas within the financial statements, hence this is not pervasive. This is the line that you are going to use to explain pervasiveness. And then you will move towards your opinion. Obviously, for this, you will give a qualified opinion. And finally, the same line can be used. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Now moving towards the next question. So
Yep.
basically do this question as well. When you are like done with the lectures.
Wait.
If I move towards the next question, the
Oh,
next
today I have
question
to
is
do the
Encore
MC.
Corporation. Next question is Encore Corporation. Here, let's see.
Wait. Sorry, Sagittarius.
Sagittarius, not Sagittarius. The name of the question is Sagittarian Corporation.
Sagittarius. Okay.
Okay. If I move forward, the next question is Encore Corporation. A very, very easy question, by the way. When this question came within the exam, all of my students said that this part was very, very easy to do. Again, this is related to a disclosure. All right. Let me just tell you it is related to a
Yeah.
disclosure and very easy. I'm not going to explain it. And this disclosure is related to just one or two areas. Let's read it. If there is something difficult, I'll let you know. It is now 26th of August 2015 and the auditor's report for Encore Corporation is being finalized on 12th of August 2015. The Transport Authority announced that it was taking legal action against Encore Corporation in respect of 17 breaches of regulations. Encore Corporation's lawyers have advised that it is probable Encore Corporation will be found guilty of all the breaches. Encore Corporation's director have informed you that no provisions will be made in respect of this matter as the decision by the authority is to take legal actions was made after the year end, but they have agreed to disclose the issue in the notes to the financial statements. So basically, the company is saying we will only record a disclosure, but no provision would be recorded. But for this kind of breach of issue, it is probable. Even the lawyers have said that you will have to make a payment. And if it is confirmed that you will have to make a payment, a provision should be recorded. We have that understanding, right? But the company is not recording any kind of provision. Am I correct here or not?
Wait. I'm reading. 1 second.
Okay, read it.
It's probable. Possible, probable. But if it's probable, it should be recorded.
No. They have agreed that they will
Yes.
only make a disclosure, not record it.
Wait, give me a second. Wait. It is probable. Have no provision as addition by the authority. Wait. But then, just wait. Wait, the thing is, wait. Just give me 1 second. Let me read this again.
Okay. Can I put a hint in front of you?
No, don't say anything, please. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just give me 1 minute. Just read it.
Okay.
But then it should be recorded because it's probable.
Yes, it should be recorded. And
Yeah,
when
that's
it
what I've been
has to
saying.
be recorded, it is a provision. But the company is
Yeah,
always saying that we will only disclose it. So
yeah,
this.
that's what I'm saying.
So again, in paragraph number 1, you will have to explain this issue. Let's come towards paragraph number 2, materiality. Can you calculate the materiality?
Okay, yeah, wait. Should I calculate it?
How? There are no
Oh,
amounts given to you in this.
yeah, sure. But
Okay,
then,
okay. In
so
these
like,
types
would
of
I say,
questions, let me tell you,
yeah,
in these types of questions, the
uh-huh,
examiner is basically asking you or trying to test out, can you use your imagination correctly or not?
okay,
There are 17 breaches of laws that the company has done. So the penalty obviously is going to be huge. Okay. As a
yeah,
student, you should know that for the double A level, the examiner is trying to test, do you know about the reality of life or not? The examiner
okay,
sometimes also tests that. So this is the place where the examiner is basically testing the students whether do they actually know about something in practical life or not. So obviously it is going to be material. So in the materiality
yeah, because
section of
17
the
breaches.
my answer, how will I write it down? In simple words, I will write down because this breach of penalty is going to be linked with 17 of different laws that the company has breached. Hence, because of this, we can assume that the penalty or provision that the company should record will also be of a material amount. That's it.
Wait. Wait, let me write that down. What question was this again?
This question is Encore Corporation.
Okay. Because the breach
The breaches of
is,
17 regulations
yeah,
is going to be is a lot of breaches, and this is going to lead to a huge provision to be recorded as a penalty by the management, which will be material to the financial statements. That's it.
uh-huh,
Okay.
uh-huh.
Now you have solved this basically materiality part based upon your assumption, and the examiner is going to give you marks for this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's come towards pervasiveness. Obviously, this is one amount. This is not pervasive. Why? Because this is only affecting one area within the statement of profit and loss and one area within liability. Hence, it is not pervasive. So you know how to explain the pervasiveness part. Then you will state because it is material but not pervasive, the auditor will give a qualified opinion. Then you will come towards the final paragraph, the changes in the names of the paragraphs and except for line that has to be used within the audit report. That's
Yes.
great. Coming towards my next question, there is no question here regarding this. Okay, give me a second. This question is again easier one. Oh, this is the question that I want to see first from you as a homework. This is the first question. Jasmine Corporation. Because this question is related to going concern issues. I want to see this question from you as a homework. The first question that you send me as a homework, this is the question that you should do. And I want to receive it today. Can you hear me?
Mm.
Are you able to hear me, Omi? Hello?